Protect yourself against infectious diseases like coronavirus and lifestyle diseases like high blood pressure using ultra-modern medical equipment such as face masks, N95 and 3-ply face masks. Medical coverall suits and face shield masks prevents your body from getting in contact with a virus or bacteria. Often check your body temperature using infrared thermometer. Check your blood pressure using automatic blood pressure machines. This message is brought to you by Leviton Investments Limited, importers and distributors of high-quality medical equipment, located at Arowa Park Plaza, shop number 619 and 620 Bench, Wanoka Street. Leviton, caring for your health.
Welcome to the show. It's Man and Markets. Now, it's a very interesting show because it's a show happening in a week when we expect the government of Uganda, specifically the finance minister, to present the 2021-2022 financial year budget. Already we know what is entailed in that budget, and in any case, it has already been passed. What is key, however, is the fact that Uganda Revenue Authority was not able to collect 2.5 trillion in 2020-2021 financial year. Now, that already marks a tough or a Herculean task that awaits the taxman in the new financial year. But we'll be discussing a little more about that in a segment later. It is Man and Markets once again. I'm Charles Boyd, your host. Welcome to the show. 2020 was a tough year. Now, the spillage has also extended into 2021. Now, it has affected many business operations. Today we're trying to find out how financial institutions, and specifically banks, are trying to respond, looking at how they are doing or dealing with those relationships that have become a bit tough with their clientele, to see that they continue to grow and at the same time have this growth extended to the wide economy.
We have many plans for our customers going forward, especially post-COVID. We are trying to ensure that we offer many alternative channels of access to our customers, whereby they don't not only have to come to our banking halls, but can use agents, are able to use mobile banking platforms. They're able to use online banking facilities, and we've noted quite very good uptake, because as we speak now, about 30% of our customers are using their phones, mobile banking platform, and about 25% of our transactions are through agents. And we want to continue driving this. And as we do this, we want to do it while designing need-responsive services and products, like the recent Send Express account, which can be opened remotely without necessarily people having to look for our staff or our physical offices. And this is the kind of direction that we are taking going forward. Going by the mission of the bank, provision of financial services, especially microfinance, and especially to those in the rural areas, it goes without saying that assisting people who are involved in the agricultural sector is at the center of our mission. And that's why, as we speak, I think we are one of the biggest, if not the biggest bank that contributes to lending to the agricultural sector. About 18 to 20% of our portfolio goes to agriculture. We're having a portfolio of slightly over 2 trillion, and 20% of that money has been given to people who are involved in agriculture. We have special facilities for people who are coming to borrow for agricultural development. We have designed and developed special teams that look after these people, well knowing how they do their things, and in the process, once they know what they are doing their things, they are able to meaningfully lend to them and offer financial services, and we want to continue doing that. At the moment, of course, because of COVID, a number of our customers have been challenged by the environment in which we are operating. When during lockdown, some businesses didn't operate as expected, cash flows were not generated as they had planned, and in the process, definitely, they had to be challenged as far as making loan repayments is concerned. But what we've done is to work with them to try to see those who deserve loans being rescheduled. We've rescheduled them, and as we try to work out ways of making it easy for them to pay. And in the process, we've journeyed with a number of them, and we believe that as we have the easing of the economy come along, we should be seeing a lot of our customers, their businesses coming up and being able to pay the loans that they borrowed from us. The banks are interested in digital solutions, as mentioned earlier on, because it is one of the ways, the means of conveniently delivering services to the customers without having to build brick and mortar, without having to set up physical presence. So that's when they are able to approach agents. We now have over 4,000 agents. They are able to use mobile banking platforms using their telephones. They are able to use internet banking to be able to access services. And we see this as the trend, and we continue to support it because it is the key and the way to be able to continue serving our customers.
So how is this helping the cause of financial inclusion?
It is definitely helping the cause of financial inclusion because now many more people are able to reach out to us without us being able to set ourselves up physically. The tenets of financial inclusion, as we mentioned, is to do with the accessibility, convenience, affordability, and of course sustainability. The kind of model that we are designing using technology is a model that enables scalability and therefore sustainability. And once we do that, then we should be able to reach out to many more people and therefore effective financial inclusion.
Now, beginning from 2020 to where we are today, it's been business unusual, not for just the business sector, but also for the taxman. So we're trying to look at the Herculean task that lies ahead for the tax collector, but then also trying to put into perspective the 2021-2022 financial year budget and its implications to the different sectors. The 2021-2022 financial year budget, which is going to be read later this week, comes on the back of a tough economic spell and a depressed economic environment. To some, the 44 trillion budget is envisioned as a recovery budget to resuscitate the economy from the woes conditioned by the COVID-19 pandemic, an election season, and disasters such as locusts. A combined impact of these incidents claimed businesses, lives, tax revenue, and at the macro level, the country's economic growth. Uganda had projected to register 6.3% GDP growth in 2020, but only managed 3.3%, according to the Minister of Finance, as the impact of the COVID control measures claimed a number of the country's cash cows, and in some areas, totally decimating some of them. The over 4.5 trillion shilling tourism industry, for instance, shrunk by over 80%, while the education sector totally ground to a halt, all of them claiming business victims in the name of suppliers and auxiliary businesses whose survival is anchored on the sectors. The cumulative impact of these and other incidents, besides explaining the depressed economic growth numbers, are at the core why the taxman posted a 2.5 trillion collection deficit in the concluding financial year. According to the Minister of Finance, the tax arrears and tax exemptions extended to the business community total about 2.1 trillion shillings, and now, with a new second wave of the COVID pandemic, which naturally warrants new control measures, one wonders how easy it will be for the taxman to pick those arrears in the new financial year, which begins on the 1st of next month. According to experts, one of the resilient sectors of the economy that also helped minimize the impact of COVID, especially on households, is agriculture. The sector remains buoyant and to some experts still lies ahead of the oil and gas sector in its potential to transform Uganda's economy and deliver it to middle-income status. It is, for instance, being touted as the key to improving the country's trade position, whose deficit stands at 8 trillion shillings. It is no surprise, therefore, that the 2021-2022 financial year budget is anchored on agro-industrialization. The challenge, though, is that the bulk of the sector's activities still lie outside the money economy and are out of reach for the taxman. So as we draw closer to the reading of this year's budget by the finance minister, it is imperative to note that more is expected to be collected domestically. That is 76% of the 44 trillion budget. And yet, a lot more is expected from it, including suggestions of stimulus packages by the very business entities where this revenue is expected to be mobilized. That brings us to the end of the first segment of this show. Please don't go away. Man and Markets continues after this break.